Olunaku olw'eggulo ekyatuuse mu Palamenti ya Uganda kyabadde kikambwe nnyo. Luupu Joel Ssenyonyi yatadde gavumenti ne Spiika Anita ku nninga ng'agamba Spiika ave mu bigambo wabula abeeko ky'akola ku basajja ba gavumenti abaatulugunya n'okuwamba abantu. Era guno gwe mulundi ogwasoose okulaba nga Sipiika wa Palamenti Anita ng'asiyise Joel Ssenyonyi bwe yabadde ayogera. Era kigambibwa nti Sipiika Anita yabadde mu Palamenti naye nga tateredde olwa puleesha Joel Ssenyonyi gye yataddewo mu Palamenti. Ngenda kuwa akatambi nga Joel Ssenyonyi ayogera naawe owulire kye yakoze mu Palamenti. Wabula ebya nnalukoola si birungi, gavumenti emuteereddewo embeera akyalemeseddwa okulayira ku kifo ky'omubaka wa Kawempe North.
We kept raising the matter of the brutality that was occasioned in the Kawempe North by-election. Government kept giving us commitments. I remember the Honorable David Mohozi was here. He gave a response expressing dismay about some of the happenings, beating up of people, journalists, and he promised to investigate and get back to the House. Honorable David Bahati, in the same vein, rose up and said this is wrong, and on behalf of government he said he's going to follow up. He even said he will visit one journalist who had been brutalized, the one Miracle Ibra. He said government will even take care of the medical bill, and he said we'll get back to us. And you, Right Honorable Speaker, tasked government to follow up and get back to the House. Honorable Speaker, the situation only got worse. It's as if the matters that we raised here and the task you gave them was taken for granted. The situation got a lot more precarious. Honorable Speaker, after our candidate in that race, the one Luimbazi Nalukola, was assaulted, our supporters were brutalized, several leaders were brutalized, including on election day. In fact, Honorable Speaker, some of your members here were badly brutalized, still nursing injuries. Journalists were not spared either. They were badly beaten. Others were abducted and taken in drones, only to be dumped later with injuries. Honorable Speaker, can government provide an explanation to this House? Who was responsible for this brutality? We want to know, because we raised these matters here. The government officials who spoke, they expressed concern and dismay over these particular matters. Can we know who commandeered this? Who commandeered the brutalizing of leaders, citizens, a candidate in a race, journalists who are simply doing their job? Who is responsible for this? I saw, Right Honorable Speaker, the Prime Minister, Honorable Robin Anabanja, Honorable Misa Kabanda, Honorable Balam, make some remarks out there and say, we as the opposition were responsible. They even made remarks to the effect that we did these things to ourselves, we hurt ourselves, we hurt the journalists and beat them up and so on and so forth. Some ridiculous statements. But it would be important that government, I don't know if that's the position of government, maybe they need to tell us that the statements we had made by the Prime Minister, made by Honorable Mr. Kabanda and Honorable Balam, is that the position of government? That we are the ones who did these things? Can we know, Right Honorable Speaker? And finally, Right Honorable Speaker, even though those were abducted and later returned, beaten up, the abductions are still on. I'd like to report that one of our coordinators, as a political party, one Bright Muhumuza from Western Uganda, was also abducted last night. We don't know why government continues to do these things. And for me, what hurts me, Right Honorable Speaker, is, and I want to call it pretense, honestly. When some ministers here do rise up and they say this is bad, this is terrible, it's pretense because nobody is held responsible. It appears that's the position of government, because if it were not, government should be holding accountable all those who are doing these things. Somebody did say that those who are doing these things are doing them in favor of the opposition, so that we get sympathy. Why do you not take action? How many people have been held responsible for beating leaders, beating supporters in an election, beating up journalists, many of whom are still nursing injuries? Honorable Speaker, we want to know. It's not enough that you keep condemning the few of you who probably want to look good, or in my view pretend and say that this is bad, we are going to take action. Where is the action?